Hello everyone, welcome to my tarot reading and clearing session for today. Remember that I will be doing these readings by theme, so these are readings that don't expire, because since we are working on a theme, we can work on that theme on any date, any day, any year, any month. So I decided to change my tarot readings in this way because I'm going to include a frequency of healing, clearing, and activation within the reading's frequency. Therefore, this reading will incorporate those frequencies and they remain relevant at any time. These frequencies remain active, and what they do is that every time you listen to the video or every time you set the intention to work on your growth regarding the theme of the reading, you integrate the frequency of healing, clearing, and activation. So let's remember that today's theme will be related to love and relationships. So partners, friends, family, and so on. And if you're alone, it will be the relationship you have with your inner self. So let's start shuffling. We'll begin with the Quantum Oracle. So we're gonna ask what is the most relevant theme at this moment that we need to reveal in order to heal or clear our energy field, our frequency, our personal history regarding love and relationships. So we got the same card as the past reading a week ago with the Oracle of Great Gratitude, but in reverse. So what else do we need to know? What is the blockage or the interference affecting our ability to vibrate with great gratitude in our relationships? So we got the Oracle of the Power of the Present in reverse also. Now we're going to shuffle the tarot to explore a deeper layer related to these two oracles. We got another card that is repeating, the Magician in reverse. And we got the Four of Wands in reverse. What else do we need to know about the Power of the Present in reverse? We got the Nine of Cups upright. And as the overall energy at the bottom of the deck after shuffling, we got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Pentacles upright behind it. So this is already telling me something because we have three cards that are repeating from the last reading a week ago. This means that there is a frequency that is maintained and that we need additional energy and frequency work to transmute it for our well-being. So let's move on to the reading. I can see here with all the cards in this spread is that the important thing here to transmute for our well-being is the vibration of resistance. The vibration of resistance is when we don't want something and we dig deep in our feet, refusing hard about something. But because we are giving off the vibration of the resistance, what happens is that we create something like an obstacle, like a stone interfering in the flow of energy. Then, because of this obstacle, that energy begins to overflow in turbulence. And as it overflows, we begin to become internally unbalanced. And this is moving us farther away from abundance because we drew two pentacle cards in the overall energy. And that's a kind of abundance in our inner environment, our house, our home, our work, and in the resources we can manifest. So this great gratitude in reverse indicates a great dissatisfaction in the present. This satisfaction that never arrives may be related to a recent loss or is maybe related to something that frustrates you greatly. And in addition to frustrating you greatly, you are immersing yourself into that frequency of frustration. It may also be related to the fact that you have never learned in a frequency-based way how to be happy and how to allow yourself to be sustained by the frequency of happiness. This is already revealing a trauma, a difficulty in our past in which loss and lack was normalized. Always feeling less was normalized. So as we made lack the norm, and because of it, every time we are presented with the opportunity to be happy, to enjoy life, it feels so weird to us that it almost starts to cause us anxiety because it seems so unusual. Something like the phrase we say often, "This is too good to be true." And then we begin to vibrate in resistance to the vibration of happiness and joy. And this is the context of a relational setting, whether it is with a partner, a family, a friend, or at work. So in order to transmute this, it's necessary to make a shift from the mental, emotional, and energetic level, and to learn to focus more and more, little by little, on the frequency of appreciation. So what we can do is intentionally and voluntarily, day to day, moment by moment, choose to notice anything that adds value, joy, light to our lives, so that we begin to change our frequency little by little, increasingly inhabiting the frequency of appreciation. So, for example, things that we take for granted, but that can actually make us appreciate our lives. Having a roof over our heads, eating a hot meal, taking a hot shower, having friends, opening opportunities, having, as I see here, a safe place in our home, a safe place with our family. Because that's what this Ten of Pentacles is saying as the overall energy. So start noticing even the smallest things that brings us value, so that you can begin to apply that kind of filter to your own perception of reality, and to know that everything that we encounter in life has an aspect that we can value, even what we consider unpleasant or difficult, because we are on a plane of expression of our human experience that inherently carries the frequency of duality. So this means that every experience has two extremes, the pleasant and the unpleasant. And when we experience something difficult and unpleasant, we are only seeing one extreme, but there is always another side to the coin, from which we can extract something beneficial and pleasant. And usually that beneficial element is the learning that comes with it. So, for example, when we see something that we don't resonate with, we think, I'm not like that. I don't like these kinds of experiences. And the moment we say to ourselves that this is being shown to me to teach me something, is the moment we neutralize the low vibration that the experience is having. And is the moment that we make the conscious choice not to keep feeding it. So, for example, a client comes to us at work, and at first they seem wonderful, but then over time they start to become a headache, and we are stuck with that client. And the purpose of having this kind of experiences is to show us the subtle nuances of every experience. That even though a client brings money, opportunities, and so on, they also bring other things, which is the other side of the coin. They might be controlling, intense, annoying, intolerant, or rude. So this is showing us a training scenario for our own frequency, so that we can refine it, so that we can know that not all money is good money, and that we might prioritize our peace of mind versus selling it for money. So this specific example with this kind of clients brings us this kind of learning, that not all money is good money, and that maintaining our peace of mind in the scenario of manifesting resources, stability, and security is more important than the money it brings. So this is an example of scenarios that come to us so that we refine our frequencies, and so that we solidify time at a time what we want to attract into our life experiences with all the scenarios that come to us. So this great gratitude is also showing us that it is necessary to let go of the frequency of comparing ourselves to others. Because when we compare our path with others, we start to see ourselves as less or more, or as if they have something and we don't, and that lowers our vibration. So that's also a lesson that this great gratitude brings us in reverse, which at this moment I'm using to set the frequency of releasing any pattern related to comparing ourselves to others and seeing ourselves as less, and to invite a frequency shift by being grateful and appreciating our present moment. related to that oracle of the power of the present that came up in relation to this great gratitude. So what's important about the frequency of gratitude is that this is a neutralizing frequency, and this can be a daily practice with any experience, any work situation, any relationship situation, with your partner, your friends, your acquaintance, your family. Try to always, at the end of the day, gather up the day within the frequency of gratitude and appreciation. And thus, this is the way you transmute it, and you don't accumulate baggage or any burden around you every day. And this is how you transmute day by day the frequency of the day, and this is how you neutralize it, and this is how you don't feed any negative loop, and this is how we build a good potential for our future. So let's look at the oracle of the power of the present in reverse. As both oracles being part of the consciousness suit, this means that it's necessary that we learn how to focus in a heightened and conscious way on how we think, how we feel, and what we emit as a frequency. Because as we emit any low or high frequency, the energy field around us returns those waves amplified to bring us experiences that are vibrationally matched, that resonate vibrationally with the frequency we are emitting. So when the power of the present comes up in reverse, it's indicating that we are losing some kind of control over these two, the lion and the tiger that you can see here. These two beasts represent our past and our future. So this means that what we are experiencing day by day, it's influenced by what we understand from our past and what we expect from our future. And as we feel a loss of balance and a feeling of powerlessness and helplessness, this is related to a past issue that has resurfaced precisely so that we can transform it into a resolution. This could be something very small, like a relational issue with your family, your partner, your friends, whatever relationship comes to mind right now, and that you feel that nothing seems to resolve, nothing is transformed, or this could also be a major disruption, and how we deal with some kind of disruption every day, and how the situations arise so that we can learn how to transform them in the best and kindest way possible, both for ourselves and for the person involved. It could also be that a plan we had for the future is falling apart, and that we are worried about what might happen to what we are planning for our future. So it's like you're letting yourself be carried away by a sense of urgency, a desire to control what's happening, a desire to solve what's happening without result. So this oracle recommends, and therefore the frequency being drawn to this reading, is that we reclaim our personal power by returning to our present moment, and how we understand that the strength to deal with any situation that comes up is gathered by learning how to inhabit our present moment. And this oracle is saying that we can choose to relate to life through appreciation, optimism, and trust, and that it is not necessary to tie appreciation, optimism, and trust to the results we are seeing in our present moment or to the results we are projecting into the future. Rather, it can be a vibration that we already include in how we see life. This means not tying the perception of our present moment to past trauma, thinking that because something bad happened before, it will happen again. That's not true. And we also don't tie it to the future, so we don't let our expectations rob us of our peace to stay in balance. It is about knowing we can be stable regardless of the future outcome. This is a practice taught by Eastern philosophies like Buddhism, about always being in the present with gratitude, appreciation, and trust. So for this, you can learn any kind of technique that keep you focused in the present moment. For some people it's meditation, for others it's prayer, for others it's coloring mandalas, gardening, cooking, or going for a run. Anything that our vibration focus takes us to the present moment, and by taking us to the present moment we let go of the hold that past trauma has on us, and we let go of the fear and distrust of the future. This is also expressed in the tarot card related to this oracle, the major arcana, the magician in reverse, as a repeating card that we saw in the past week reading. This magician in reverse is as if we believe we don't have the necessary tools to appreciate our present, that we are falling into a state of helplessness and powerlessness. Because, as you can see here, the magician is the ultimate manifestor of material experience. He has all the tools and channels divine light into something material, meaning and experience, whether it be resources, opportunities, relationships, and so on. But since we got it in reverse, it means that we are facing a situation where we are experiencing an imbalance by not trusting that we have the necessary tools, or by thinking that we are not ready yet, that we don't have everything we need, and that things aren't starting or things aren't working. It is as if we believe more in lack than in power and trust, in ourselves or in life. And this Four of Wands in reverse means that this helplessness is being expressed in our home or in our family relationships, that we feel the portal toward harvest and success and stability is farther away. But remember that the cards related to the overall energy are telling me that the harvest is present. It's just that we aren't seeing it. And what needs to be transmuted is the filter that don't let us see this harvest in our home. And this leads us to the Nine of Cups upright, because here we are being told how to transmute this vibration of the present moment to achieve balance. Because even though we may not be seeing it right now, and even though impatience tries to convince us that we are off track, that we are out of control, that life keeps drawing us back to the same unpleasant situations, that it's difficult to overcome this, that it's difficult to manifest this. Even though this is happening right now, this Nine of Cups is telling us that we are aligned with a timeline in which our deepest desires will be fulfilled because it came up upright. It is just necessary to walk the path there. And in order to walk the path there, we need to bring the vibration of appreciation into every moment. We need to trust that we are aligned with the fulfillment of our deepest desire, that we are aligned with a path that will bring us abundant emotional satisfaction. And so it is about trusting that we are heading there, even though we don't see the results yet. And as the overall energy, that we got the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which also came up a week ago, but upright. And we also got the Ten of Pentacles upright. So here we are seeing a very interesting duality, because this Nine of Pentacles in reverse is talking about some kind of codependency. Codependency is when we have solidified within ourselves a limiting belief that makes us think that we need safety nets to feel like we can manifest something. And that robs us the feeling of being independent or capable of manifesting resources on our own. We believe we depend on this person's help, this person's work, on the security of having a job, on the security of having X number of clients. And it is like we tie our stability outside of us and not within. So this card is already bringing us an important transmutation to do at a frequency level, which is knowing that we are capable of manifesting what we need or what we want through our own personal power, and that our personal power attracts the resources, the tools, the opportunities, and the right people to manifest a path where we know we don't need anyone else to feel stable and secure. But an interesting contrast is bringing the next card that we got for the overall energy, because behind this Nine of Cups in reverse, we got the Ten of Pentacles upright. This Ten of Pentacles is telling us that although you want to take an individual path to manifest and flourish, it is not necessary to believe that to walk this path alone, you need to be alone or you need to sever any relationship. because there is something very stable around you related to this Ten of Pentacles. As you can see here, it represents the family, the home, and the manifestation of stability, security, and fulfillment from a balanced home environment and from a healthy family relationship. And through it lies the portal of abundance. This is telling us that we should not foster the belief that relying on our secure family environment or our family relationships is robbing us of our independence. These two cards together are telling me that we can have a secure environment at home and still be independent, that we can have family harmony, draw on resources sustained by this harmony, and still be independent, building our own path. And what this Ten of Pentacles is showing us is that we need to work on our lineage, and we need to transmute the limiting beliefs in our family lineage, in our ancestors' lineage, meaning transmuting lack, codependency, and we need to trust that we deserve to have a peaceful home, and that we need to open our frequency to receive the gifts, the talents, the abundance of our lineage, to solidify it as an experience in our lives. Also, this means that if we resent our family, our maternal heritage, our paternal heritage, we will also be closing the door to the gifts, the talents, and the frequencies of abundance associated with that lineage. And when we learn to balance our family time with our individual path, the harvest, success, and stability will come to us, trusting, as I told you before, that we are aligned with the timeline that will bring us the fulfillment of our deepest desires. So let's draw the final advice to see what else we need to transmute. We got Taking Risk Oracle. So when we draw this oracle, it is time to step outside of our comfort zone, and it is time to step outside of what we have built as a safe haven in our daily lives. It is time to take risks, to face our fears, to do new things, and things that aren't expected of us. Things that wouldn't be traditional for us, in our energy, in our decisions, in our behaviors. Also, we need to learn to listen more to our inner voice and not rush to the opinions of others, because the opinions of others becomes noise that makes it difficult to hear our inner voice. Also, this oracle is telling us something very important, that it is to not be afraid of potential failure, to know that moving forward by taking risks step by step can bring small failures, but those small failures are stepping stones towards building the path that will lead you to your deepest desires. And as we embrace the possibility of failing, and by learning from our failures, recovering and starting again, step by step, we build a ladder to success. So it's really great that this advice came out, because it's telling us that the fear of leaving our comfort zone and the fear of taking risks are limiting our expansion, and it's preventing us from trusting in our abilities and capacity of moving forward, and that any small setback we face right now or in the short or medium term are just learning steps. And remember that I told you from the beginning that this reading has its own frequency, transmitted by my voice, by my energy and intention. This frequency will bring about the transmutation of those blockages and will open the portal to abundance. And this reading remains active, so you can repeat it at any time. And if you come across it in the future, it is because you need that energy that is present in today's reading. Therefore, it's not a reading that loses its relevance over time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate your likes, your comments, your emojis, sharing my content, subscribing to my social media and my YouTube channel, La Flaca Tarot. And if you're interested in a personalized process with the tarot oracles and frequencies I have, my email is available for you to contact me there to book your reading and clearing. My fees are posted on Facebook and Instagram in pinned post. And if you're interested in donating, my PayPal is La Flaca Tarot. You can find the link in the description below. And I'll see you in the next week for the reading and clearing focused on manifestation and abundance. Thank you. Bye bye.